Okay, let's talk about something that can be a real headache for pretty much everyone: writing. But here's the thing: we're not going to treat it like some mysterious creative art form. Nope, we're going to treat it like architecture. You know the feeling, right? That blinking cursor on a totally blank page, the deadline getting closer and closer. It can feel absolutely paralyzing, like you're supposed to just pull a perfect essay out of thin air. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? I mean, way back, thousands of years ago, the philosopher Socrates had this idea that great writing isn't just a jumble of thoughts. He said it should be built like a living creature, with a head, a body, a tail, everything connected and working together as a whole. And that, right there, is our big idea for today. Great writing isn't magic. It's architecture. It's all about having a blueprint, a solid plan, and then building your argument piece by piece until you've got a structure that's strong, persuasive, and just works. Okay, so let's dive into that blueprint. Every solid building needs a plan before you start, right? Well, for an essay, that plan is its core structure. It's the anatomy of our living creature. I love this metaphor. Think about it. If you're a passenger in a car and you have no idea where you're going, the whole ride is just a confusing mess of random turns. Your thesis, your main point, that's the destination. You have to tell your reader where you're headed right from the start so they can actually follow along with your argument. So here it is. This is our 5-part architectural blueprint. These are the non-negotiables for any strong persuasive essay. First, the thesis. Just say what you're going to prove. Simple. Second, the argument. Lay out the core reason why your thesis is true. Third, validity. You got to show that your reasoning actually makes sense. Fourth, proof. This is your evidence showing your reasons are based in fact. And finally, the upshot. That's your conclusion, where you remind the reader that you've arrived at your destination and proven your point. All right, so we have the blueprint, but how do we actually, start building this thing? Let's move on to part 2 and look at the actual construction, how you compose your argument. Now, the source material lays out 3 main ways to build your essay. You've got your traditional outlining and something called conceptual note-taking, but we're going to focus on the third one, a really powerful method called successive elaboration. Trust me, it's a fantastic way to turn that scary blank page into a totally manageable project. So, here's the big idea behind this technique. Instead of trying to write a whole essay at once, which is super intimidating, you start with the smallest possible piece, a single sentence. Then you build your essay outwards from there, layer by layer. It's an amazing way to stay in control of your ideas. Okay, layer 1, the foundation. It's just your main point, your core thesis, stated as one clear sentence. No fluff, no intro, just the one big idea you want to prove. So something like, some human actions are free. That's it. Now we move to layer 2, and this is the cool part. We're not writing a new paragraph. We literally add our reasons, our premises, directly into that original sentence. So it becomes, some human actions are free, for humans are held responsible for some actions, and persons can be held responsible only for free actions. See, we're embedding the entire logic right into the foundation. Then, in layer 3, we take that core powerhouse of a sentence and we just wrap it in an introduction. We add a little context, explain why it's an important topic, and just like that, what started as one sentence has now grown into a complete, super strong opening paragraph. From there, you just keep building out each section. Of course, even with a great system like this, let's be honest, writing is still hard work. The source had this funny, slightly altered quote from Genesis, and I think it just perfectly captures that feeling we all get, that sometimes writing feels like a bit of a cosmic curse. So, our main structure is built. The frame is up, the walls are in place. Now it's time for part 3, the finishing touches. This is where we do the polishing and painting to make our building persuasive and, livable for the reader. When we talk about rhetoric, we're not talking about trickery or manipulation. For our purposes, rhetoric is simply the art of coherence. It's about collecting your thoughts and making sure they're arranged in the clearest, most logical order to guide your reader right to your point. The order of your sentences can literally make or break your argument. Just look at this example. On the left, the ideas are all jumbled up, and it's kind of confusing. But look at the one on the right. Just by swapping the clauses, the logic is suddenly crystal clear. Kant's approval is now framed as a side note to his main point, which makes the whole argument so much stronger. So here's a quick checklist for those finishing touches. First, use active verbs. They have so much more energy. Say I will argue, not it will be argued. Next, be ruthless. Hunt down and get rid of needless words. Why say Quine gives vent to his belief that, when you can just say Quine believes? Keep it simple, keep it direct, and always, always make sure it's clear what your pronouns are referring to. These little tweaks make a huge difference.
Okay, let's bring it all home. In this last part, we're looking at the finished piece. We've gone all the way from that scary blank page to a fully constructed, persuasive argument.
And really, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Powerful writing is not some mystical act of genius. It's a craft. It is a process of construction. And if you have the blueprint and you use the right techniques, you can build a strong, compelling argument every single time.
And that's the real power here. We've just walked through the blueprint for a great essay. But think bigger. What about a grant proposal, a business plan, a pitch to your boss, an argument you want to make at a city council meeting? What other persuasive structures could you build in your life using this exact same framework?